So what we discussed in the last class?
Exceptions.
Okay, so we talked about exceptions, right? And we talked about what is checked exception, what is unchecked exception,
Yes, sir.
right? So do you guys have any doubt on this concept?
No, sir.
Okay, let me open this. Okay, so do you have any doubt on JDBC? I mean, so which we discussed about how to retrieve, insert, update all the data, and also how to assign the data to the custom object. And we did some practice work. I mean, example also. So do you guys have any doubts? I mean, any clarification you needed? So when you practiced, might be you got some doubts, right? So do you have anything to discuss in JDBC
No.
level? Okay. So today we will talk about what is that servlet concept. Okay. So so far we spend some time, like most of the time in the core Java, like so like of what is object oriented and the class, object, method, variable, different kind of variables, different type of methods, calling method, creating object, and many core level concepts, like what is collection, what is exception, what is uh, you know a file concept, and what is API, what is interface. So many things, many core level concepts we understood, right, at the core Java level, because those concepts definitely, those idea concept we definitely will use throughout our career, as long as you are working in the Java related projects, right? So so those are all the fundamental things which we understood till now. And today we are going to discuss about a servlet concept, servlet programming concept. What is servlet, what is the purpose of the servlet, and what we can do, what is the main use of the servlet, uh, how to develop web applications by using the servlet programming. So these things you can understand that. So first, let's try to understand generally what is web application, what you see in a real time. Like you might be using so many applications in your I mean till now in your mm, career. So like it might be in your so till now might be whenever you try to use the web application, might be used, like many people try to register your application in one website, and searching your examinations result, and like that many things, you for many purposes you might be used for anything, right? So do you have any example which you used in your real time, any website, any website, guys? What are the mostly used web applications till now in your time? Give me some examples about the web applications which you use, which you used. No answer. You never used any web application till now. So you never used any simple application also. You don't know about web application first of all. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
IRTC.
Are you able to hear me? Okay. IRCTC. You
Yes,
used
sir.
IRCTC for what purpose? So first tell me one thing. You want to use that IRCTC. So how did you open that?
Go to Google, sir.
Google. How do you go Google? How do you go to Google? You're completely blind on that.
By using browser, sir.
How do you open any web application? Browser only, right? Why Google Chrome is there, Firefox is there, right? So we have see that. Look at this. Internet Explorer is there. Internet Explorer is there. This is the Internet Explorer. Okay. What is all those things?
Browsers.
What is
Applications.
browser? Okay. So first try to understand what is, because we have to understand about the browser first of all. Then only because every web application we are going to open and work with the help of these browsers only. Without using browser, can you open any website? Even in a mobile also, is it possible for you? I don't think
No,
so.
sir.
No, sir.
Because you need a browser, at least in Google also. I mean, if you want to go, always you go for searching and something by accessing the website called Google, right? So, but still, uh, you need a browser, right? In even mobile also. Am I correct, guys?
Yes, sir.
You need a browser. So this is the one of the browser, Internet Explorer. And what we do generally, we will give the website name, some
Yes,
website
sir.
name. So when you, the moment when you give website name, so the respective data will come and display on the browser. Am I right? And this for to access the same website, Google, you can go and use this Firefox also. Just now I used the Internet Explorer, and you can go and do that. Look at this. Go and do that. So you got that, right? And the third one, like Google Chrome. So these are the mainly, you know, that websites. What are the websites we have? Okay, these was developed by different company. Google Chrome is developed by the Google company, right? So there are different the individual companies developed that. Firefox companies and this Internet Explorer company. So like this, there are their own company and they develop. Even if you want to, there is a uh, Safari web browser also there. Who developed that? I mean, generally you see that iPhone, iPhone, right? So like this. So these are all the, like, you know, the browsers. All these are the we are going to, we can say these are the client software, guys. We can say these are all the client software. So So these are all the client software which you use to access the web application. Generally, when we are talking about the JDBC, we understood, client software and server software both. When we install the database software, we got the MySQL client, right? MySQL client, command line client. This is the one of the client. This is the one of the client. One second. So you know that, guys, MySQL client, MySQL. Yeah, these are one of the client. So these client software you are going to use to talk to the database server and do some all the operations by giving the instruction. Am I right? The same way, there are two things you have to understand. One is the client and server. One is client and server. So in a web application, any website, if you talk about it, so we are using two things. We are using two things. One is so let's say in our example, if you are trying to access, you are using the Google Chrome, any browser you can use it, and you are giving some address, irctc.co.in. You are giving some address. So whenever you give this address, right, some address, you get something, right? So might be home page. There you can go and do all operations, right? So these data, whatever you see, the data is coming from some other system, some other remote system. That system we can call it as a server computer, server system. Okay. So how that server system is going to give this data for you? How that is going to give? So the data is going to be sent by that server with program, some application. So that means that is also computer, this is also computer, right? So whatever the thing you are using, this you are from your computer, but the actual serving is done by the other computer. So now both are computers only, but that we can call it as a server computer. Now we can call it as a client computer, whatever the user computer, right? So let's say I'm just searching here. I'm just searching here. To Sikandrabad. Okay. So now I'm just trying to search here. Look at that. Some information I'm getting here. Some information I'm getting here. Let's say this one. Some information. Some information. That means someone is working on the back end and giving the response to you. Someone is working on the back end and giving the response to you. I'm searching with the different options now. Let's say Tirupati to Singapore, and I'm finding it. And
Change the journey dates.
yes, I just changed the journey date. Now we got the information, some train information, right? From where this information is stored? Is it in your system? This information is stored in your system?
No, sir.
No, it was in it. It is in
Server.
some other system. That system is on the system. There is some application, some program is working and sending you the data. So sending you the data. Okay. So this is the website you try to access. Okay. So how to design and all those things we will discuss later. But let's try to understand the fundamental idea of any web application development and how we can develop by using that kind of feature by using servlet programming. So that we will try to understand. Before that, let's try to understand total architecture of that. Okay. So look at this, guys. Look at this. Okay. So now I'm clicking on the modify search. Okay. So look at that. Many things are going on internally. Backend. Right, 1 second. Many things are going on. The input, response. Okay. If you see that for every action, there are many, the network calls. That means the network, through the network, some request will go to some backend, and that backend So there the server is running, there's some application is running under the back end. That application is working on that based on your request. So like this, when you click on this, this modify search, what are the inputs you are giving? Whenever you want some work, you have to give some inputs, right? Based on the input, you will get some output. Is it right? Is it right, guys? So for anything like this, what
Yes,
is the
sir.
input we are giving here? What is the input we are giving here? The inputs we are giving origin and destination and
Journey
journey
class
start and the
destination.
date.
Journey date.
So these are the
Number of
details we are
times.
giving. Based on that, we are getting some response here. This is the response, guys. Right? We are getting some response. The response is based on your input. We got the details. What are the trains availability? So the input is taking. We are sending with the help of the browser. The input is going uh, to the back end, and the back end is doing some process, and that is again it is doing and sending based on your input. The response is coming to you. So the response is coming to you. There are many things is get called the main call. Let me see that. Okay, this take down. Look at this, guys. This is the input you are sending, some input. So we will talk about this total format, what it is, and how to develop our own application, how to send and all. Before that, I'm going to show you. This is the response. You can see the response preview, and you are getting the response, all the quotas, and train between list and availabilities and available classes, departure time, arrival time. You can see that, right? You are getting it. The time is getting displayed here, 4:24. Can you see here the UI,
Yes, sir.
the arrival time, and this is the departure time. So you can see that the same thing, that kind of data here, the some data. So what actually is happening? This data is going to see the train name, TPT, and GB special, and the train number. So all information we are getting, we are getting like this. We are getting like this. Okay. So look at this in the request. I mean, just throwing, guys, but we will talk in detail later. Look at this. So whatever the input we gave, right, from front end, look at that. That all the input is gone here, send it from this place, and it does something in the back end. And so look at this queries. So we gave that all the details. I mean, all will be created string parameters, like what is the train and all. So all information is gone. So gone through this link, and the response we got it. Not this guy, sorry. Where is that? Yeah, this one. Okay. So what you understand from this point is if we take any website, right? So that you will click something, and you will type something, and you will click something, that data, what some input will go to the back end will do some process, and it will respond with some result. Okay. In the same way, if you go and there are some websites, so manabadi.com, let's go with that. Okay. So if you see, let's say I want to search the result here. So whenever you want to search the result, okay, so you have to give some input. Okay. So what it does, if you have the whole tick number, so like this, and if you click on submit, so the data is going to be getting. 1 minute, guys. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So we give some input here, and that input that will go back and the response will come here. Okay. So even it is saying that invalid hall ticket number. At what basis is telling? So some server backend response is going. Again, I'm for your case. So I'm just clearing here and clicking on submit button. Look at this, guys. When I click on submit button, something is happened, right? So if I look at this, something happened. The response the input went, and the response came something like that. Hall ticket number. Whatever the number I gave here, that is the response going. But how this all will be generated, what is this format, and all we will discuss. Don't worry about it. Just try to understand the core concept. Any web application, the request will go to the backend and it will do some process, and the response will come back to the client. So this is how the communication will happen. So between one application to another application. So this application is like a browser. Another application is can be some service program, server program, which resides in another computer. This is computer, that is the computer. That computer we can call it as a server computer. So this is user computer, right? So all will happen with some communication. All will happen with some communication, guys. Let's say this client has to talk to that another software. So this browser has to talk to the another software. So they need a language to talk to each other. Hey, I have a alt number and this is the first enter and I need a result. So in that way, if you so that is what we will use some language if you want some work from other people. Am I right? Suppose let's say you need some work with other your friend. What do you do? So you will talk to that person. Okay, I need this so and so by using some language. The moment when you talk, if we understand that opposite person whom you are seeking the help, so if you understand that, if he or she understand, then only that guy can do work, or else at least he can say I cannot do this, I do. So some response you will get it. Am I right? If we don't understand, if he doesn't understand that, so what's the problem now? Right? So that means, so first of all, your request has to be understood by the opposite person. To understand that, both should know the same language. Suppose if you are talking in English, that person has to understand the English, then only he can understand your input. Otherwise he cannot reply. Even he cannot reply whether he can do or not do, or if he can do, when can do. So nothing can be replied, because as that opposite person doesn't understand, that is not possible. So that is where what we needed. Even if you want to two people talk to each other, what we needed, guys?
Opposite person also need to know.
Same language. Both should know the same language. So that is where even the browser and server will talk in one protocol. That is kind of one language. That is nothing but that language you can call it as a HTTP, guys. What is that? HTTP. HTTP
HTTP.
stands for
Hypertext transfer
Hypertext
protocol.
transfer protocol.
Hypertext Transfer Protocol.
Protocol.
You know the definition only, right? Protocol. Sorry, guys. Protocol. Okay. So H for hyper, T for text, another T for transfer protocol. So this protocol is nothing but a set of rules, set of instructions. It's kind of one language. Okay. Even if you go for language also, it's the same, right? There will be some set of rules when you are talking the things, right? Even you have the grammar for each language. So that kind of thing. Okay. So have you heard about this any time?
Yes,
Anyone
sir.
know heard about this? When you heard about this? Where you see this word HTTP?
When we search for any website in the Google, also we will get this HTTP.
See, look at this guy. One thing. So you are giving like this. Okay. So if you copy this URL and just I copied, guys. Look at this. What you can see here? What you can see here?
Google.com.
So
Google.com.
apart from that, nothing you can see that, right? That's what I selected also. I'm just copying
Yes.
and pasting over here. Look at this. How come this came? But I copied only this thing, right? Even this one only. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So anything, let's say, let's go to the codestream.in. Codestream.in. Okay. I'm just copying, guys. I'm just copying and pasting over there. So you got it prefix with the prefix with
HTTP.
HTTP. So what is meaning of this is the browser will use this HTTP protocol language. That means browser already know this program language. Then only, so because there is already the language instruction is already interrupted to this browser. Okay. So stands for hypertext transport protocol. So the same language known by the server also should known by the server also. So browser is going to talk in which language, guys? What is the language? HTTP. So HTTP protocol browser is going to use and talk to another server. So that what is that language? What is the format? How? But server is also that opposite. I mean, to whom it is going to send the input. So that also has to know the HTTP. That means that is what if the server knows, if that server knows the HTTP, we can call it as a HTTP server. What we can call HTTP server.
Server.
Yes. Okay. So mainly you have to understand it. What is HTTP and what is HTTP server? So you understand this the protocol, the language. You can see the instructions and all. We'll see that there. Okay. First, let's go and look at any request, at least one request from anything. Okay. So first, what we will do is, so I am just clearing you guys, clearing these things. What I will do is, 1 second. I'm just going to make it into separate file. Yeah, separate file. I'm just clearing it. So this is where the backend developer tools, so what's happening and all, we can say developer tool console it is. And here you can see all the performance request, memory and security. So a lot of things, and mainly you can see that network calls, what are the calls is going to. So that the Google Chrome is going to help you. And now what I'm going to do is look at this. Just try to understand HTTP protocol syntax. Okay. We are going to understand the HTTP protocol syntax, where it is gone. It's gone or what? Okay, let me, yeah. So I'm just minimized it and I'm closing here, and you can, when I close this is going on. Okay. Okay. So look at this, guys. I'm just minimize, and I'm going to give that google.com only. Okay. So the moment when you got this response, the look. Before that, there was no that look, right? Okay. So that is the look you are getting here. Okay. So look at this. I'm going to give you it so that we can be clear that whatever is see that. Here the intention is we have to understand that what is look at this. So there are many network call went in a backend, and look at this. We will discuss this. This is the main thing. So this is what you gave in the browser in the address bar, and so there you can see the requested URL. What we can call it as whatever URL you type in the browser. So what we can call it as requested URL.
URL.
And you can see there is another thing, a request method, get, and we will talk about this, what is get and all. And status code 200 means whatever you requested, right, you got as with success. That means you got some response. Okay, so you got some response. Let's say you send one letter to your friend by specifying some address. Okay, so if that went, I mean, received by that person successfully, that means whatever the address you mentioned in your letter or something, that is correct, right? If again, if you return back that, that means what? Return back that with response, no address. That means address mismatch, address wrong. So that means that is another code again. But here 200 means that is success. Yes, the browser, I mean the network, the call went and the response came success. So whenever you get a 200, that means that is a success. That means the request is success. Okay. So now what is the remote address? Or something. Okay, google.com, we'll talk about it. There are, like, these are all the general part. This is all nothing but a, whatever you see, that this is all nothing but a HTTP protocol, guys. Okay, so this is how the information will go back. But a lot of things is handled by the browser, but simply you will type it, but a lot of things will handle by the browser. So this is general information. And if you go the response headers and request headers, these are the two things. Okay, in general, what you see here, URL, right? So this is the main thing. And response header, request headers, and response. What is, first of all, first guys, tell me what is request and what is response?
When we ask something, it's a request. If we get the information, that's a response.
Yes. So if you input, whatever the input you are giving, that is a request. You go to the hotel and you will request for biryani. So that is your request. That is the inputs you are giving to the server. Actual, why we will call that server? Because whoever serve you the food and all, we will call him as a server, because he is going to service you, right? That is the reason. Okay, so he will come with some response with biryani, right? So the same way, like in the request and response is the two important terminology you have to understand. And as a web application developer, these are the main important. The request headers, I mean, so some information will go to the server. These are all the input values which will go to the server. These are all the response things. Okay, so request headers and response header. So look at this one by one: authority, method, path, scheme, accept. So that means we are saying that if you are sending the information, I will accept these kind of data only, whether text.html, application.html. So any image, what are the things you, if you don't specify this, I mean, if you specify that you don't accept this other thing, images, you don't get the browser images in the browser, and you cannot display. That means what information is sending here. So what information you will accept, that information, like, normal HTMLs, images, and all those things you can. And you don't get too much confusion here. Just overall idea, what is request and what is response. Don't think about all those things. Okay, one by one, when you do some example, your own example, then with the servlet programming, I mean, developing that uh, server application and deploy that server and installing the server. You already installed the browser. We have to install the server as well. That server is Java server. So you have to install that Java server. There are many servers are there, like, how we have the client softwares, Google Chrome, Micro, Internet Explorer, Firefox, Safari. We have many options, right? So in the client software also, in the same way, we have a different kind of many servers are there. So we have to choose one, and we have to work with that, and we have to know how to install that server application as well. Okay. So now look at this, guys. This is the request and response. There are some headers. Headers means key and value, key and value, key and value, key and value. So that means some key and some value, that response. Okay. So we'll talk more on this. This is nothing but a what we can call it as, it's a HTTP protocol format. The information will go in this format. Who can understand this format, guys? Who can understand this format? Who knows this HTTP protocol? Who knows this?
Sir,
Client and server, both browser, any browser, and the server as well. Server as well. Okay. So now you understand the point, right? Clear point. Okay. This is the and preview and response. So look at this response. We got it. The code. Many HTML code is not in our system. It which we got from the which we got from the which we got from the server, some server. And I'm just copying this, guys. I'm just opening a new tab, and or else I'm just going to copy this HTML. So you guys know anything about HTML so far? You don't know? Hmm? We'll discuss that later. Don't worry. I just created one HTML file, .html. How we create the .java, like no. So in the same way, I created one file. So this is another kind of file, but this file name is HTML. So I'm just going and pasting the response, whatever the response I got from the browser, right? I mean the server. So that response, the code, you don't think about here. I just placed that code, HTTP code, HTML code, and I'm going to open that file. Look at this. Are you getting the response? This is not the network call, guys. Even if you don't have internet, also it is going to render it. Look at this, right? But some images are missing. That is for another reason that we will like. So the response, whatever the response is coming and rendering here, that's what is happening. To render this, all these things, even this headers, footers, and headers, the name and everything, based on the HTML code. Okay, so that means what we are getting as a response here. The response is sent by the server. How it sent, what is this code? That's the secondary thing. We will understand it. But whatever the response we got, some code, that code is going to render by the browser. So because this HTML code can render by browser only. So the browser is once rendered, the output will become differently. I mean, based on the code it will display. Okay. So that means to develop any web application, first what you need, guys? Browser. So to test it and for all these things, browser you need it. For example, what are the examples, guys, for browser? Google Chrome, Firefox,
Internet
Explorer.
Safari.
So like this, etc. Okay. So like this, we have many things. Okay. So another thing is you need um, this is server. That is the client actually. This is the server. The server, there are many, we can say, Java server. As we are going to develop the based on Java, so we can say it's a Java server. This Java server example is there is a Tomcat, WebLogic, JBoss. So these are all the Java servers, guys. So there are many other things. So Tomcat, WebLogic, JBoss server, something like that. Okay. So now, as how we will use to access any website, any one of these. You can use Firefox, you can Internet Explorer, Google Chrome. In the same way, we can use any one of these. We can use any one of these. Okay. So we need this. How to install this? First, you know that already you installed in our any other system. If you want to install, you know, guys, how to install. Do you know that? Browser.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in the same way, how to install the Java server. And I told that there are many other Java servers out there. What is that? One of the Java server. What is that? Tomcat. Yeah.
Tomcats.
So now I'm going to show you Tomcat download. Just Google. And this is where it is going to give you one official website, tomcat.apache.org. In this website, you can download that software. You can download the software. So look at this. There are binary distribution. There is a GIF folder, TAR folder, 32-bit Windows folder, and 32-bit, 64-bit Windows installer. Any one of this, you can get the GIF file and you can start it, and you can got that exe file. I can got that exe file. 1 minute, guys. You can got the exe file and you can install. I just downloaded exe format. You can download the GIF file also. Okay. So exe file means then you got this, right? This is the Tomcat server, Java server. You can install it. Okay. You can install it. So whenever you are installing it, is asking password. You don't think about it. And even in my system, it is restricting. But if you have admin rights, you can install it. No problem. And for now, so there are based on your system. If your system is a 64-bit processor, and how do you know that? You know that what is 32-bit processor or 60-bit processor in the system properties, you can find it. Based on that, you can download. I'm just downloading that a GIF file, but always try to download this one installer so that you will easily install in your Windows if it is a Windows, right? Okay. So now I just downloaded it, right? Already. Still is downloading. Yeah, it's downloaded. So let's say already I installed in my mission also. I'm just extracting here. Look at this. Look at this. We got this is the installation. How we install the Java, we get some directory and files and all, right? In the same way, this is the Java server. You can see bin folder, config folder, lib folder, logs folder, temporary folder, web apps folder, work folder. So if you go to the bin folder, and there you can see a Tomcat 8 and all C, right? So these are all the dependencies libraries. Just this is the way you can download, you can open the, you can start that. There is also startup.bat. You can see the startup.bat, right? When you click on the startup.bat, that means server started. What is that, guys? Server
Startup.
See, so we are getting ready with the things to develop our application. What are the mainly we needed? This is we needed. We already installed that. And we are trying to install the server. So then as part of that, I downloaded the Tomcat server and started. Okay. And how to download the software and how to start. Till now you understand, right? And the rest of the things, what you have to understand, you have to, you know, develop the application, deploy the application, look at your examples like this. So now you are ready with the Tomcat server and you are ready with the browser. And these are the two things is needed in the development time. Okay. So whatever you see develop and deployed in the server. So if you want to test it, you can test it from this browser. You just developed one program. That program you deployed in the server. So that means what things you have to do. The next thing, we are ready with the both above, right? First thing is what we have to do. What we have to do, we have to develop a program. Develop application. We have to develop application. So what application we have to develop, guys? web application. Let's say web application. As part of web application, we should have many resources. One is HTML files. Another one is JavaScript files. Another one is CSS files. CSS file. I'm just telling, if you develop one web application, what kind of resources you will have. You have to keep. And HTML file, JavaScript file, CSS file, and if you are developing that, Java, then you have to servlet files. Servlet files. So servlet is nothing but all of Java files, guys. Java code. So you know that how to develop any class and all, right? Servlet programming. We can say servlet programming files. Servlet programming files is nothing but a Java code. So these are the main 4 things you should be aware to develop any web application. The basic thing. Okay. So if you want to understand this, you need a basic knowledge called Java. You guys know the Java, right? What is class, object, class, compilation, runtime, class path, many things you know in the Java till now. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Sir.
so as part of this, we are ready with these 2 things, and the next step is, the third step is what you have to do. Once we are ready with those, we have to develop application. Okay, to develop application, we need a knowledge. What is HTML? What is JavaScript? What is CSS? And what is servlet program? Okay, so these are the things. You guys, as part of this, you guys know only this thing, right? You don't know anything about these 3 things. Am I right?
Yes,
Right, guys?
sir.
Okay. So anyway, so when I'm going to develop this application, and I will talk about some basic things, and mostly you have to be concentrated on this. And these are all I will talk about it. Okay, with some basic things stuff, and we will talk about this: how to develop the HTML files, and how to develop the JavaScript, how to develop the CSS and all. Okay. And so the third part we have to do, that is, okay, while developing, I'm going to talk about it. Okay, the next thing is, once you develop the application, what is the step? Once you are ready with the development, you done with the development, then what you have to do? What you have to do, guys? You have to deploy that application, or else you can say compile the code which you done. Okay, so once you are done with the compilation, so you will get ready with the files. So you have to deploy that application. Deploy the application. You have to deploy the application. Okay, so that is where you have to do. So first, you are ready with the browser and Java server, and develop the application. And as part of develop application, you have to know, the first thing is structure of application. What is structure? What is web application structure? Folder structure or directory structure. How to create application. Okay, you should know. Once you know this structure, then you will learn this, what is HTML and all. These are the simple things. Then we are ready with all the resources, and on this structure, based on this structure, we'll create the application. And once we are ready with the programs, and we will compile this code, Java code, all our .java files, right? We'll compile. Once compiled, we will deploy that. Deploy the application in server. Once we deploy the server application in server, then we start the server. Start the server. So then we have to test the application, or else use the application. Whatever application you developed, whatever the resource you developed, and so you have to use that from where? From browser. So all use will do from, I mean, testing will do from browser. So these are all the steps we have to do as part of the web application development, guys. As part of web application development, these are all the things you have to take care. So these 2 points, do you have any doubt? How to install the browser, you guys know? If you don't have any browser in your system, I mean, you want to download Google Chrome and you want to install, do you know, guys, how to download it?
Yes.
Okay. And how to download the Tomcat server? Do you guys understand? And how to
Yes, sir.
from where, I mean, just go to the Tomcat website where you can go and download the Tomcat server. Okay.
Sir.
So then you have to understand how to develop the application. As part of that, you have to understand the directory structure. What is the structure of a web application, and what is HTML, CS, and JavaScript and servlet programming? These are the things you have to understand. And you can make one simple example and one application, simple application, then compile that code and deploy that in server and start the server, use the application from browser. This is the continuous process as part of development. Okay, so this is what the actual real time we are going to do, and for that we needed a servlet programming, and to develop the servlet programming you need to know the Java. That is where we understood till now, the Java. So far, any doubt, guys?
No, sir.
Okay,
Sir.
so the rest next, I mean, from tomorrow, like, you know, we are going to talk more, like, you know, development of the web application and all many things. Like, this is where you are going to do in a real time when you got a assignment programming. So then there is where you are going to do that. So how we will do all those things. Before starting that, you should know the proper core Java. Otherwise, you don't understand when I try to explain this earlier. Okay, so that is the reason we spend enough time on the core Java, right? Okay, we'll see tomorrow on this how to do what is the structure of web application and how to create resources, and what is HTML, what is JavaScript, what is CSS, and how to develop a simple application, compiling and deploying. So continuously we'll try to do some practice on that. And on after that, how to integrate JDBC into Servlet, and we will try to learn that. So after that, we will do a total application, like, you know, with the code operations, getting the data, pulling the data, pushing the data, all things from the UI, like, you know, from browser you can do that, all those things. We'll try to do that. Okay, that is where we are doing, right, in a daily usage in the web application.
Yes.
Yes.